Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zicree of Space Command, and I wanted to ask your opinion on something. As you know, we've been raising money and shooting Space Command, and we just released the first hour, the work in progress of the hour of the 2-hour pilot on my Mr. Sci-Fi YouTube channel. If you haven't watched the first hour, please do. We're almost at 100,000 views in just a matter of weeks, and we want to get up to 1 million. And so far, it's about 95% thumbs up to 5% thumbs down, and those 5% are don't know what they're looking at. but here's the question. Last year, I laid out my year's plan. In January, I laid out the entire month-by-month plan for 2018, and a big part of that was going to conventions, meeting the fans, getting the word out, building relationships with executives at networks and platforms, going to the trade shows where they would be, and culminating at the end of the year, screening the first hour of the pilot, premiering it at the Drama Summit in London. Which we co-sponsored, and we had a Space Command table there, and we had tons of meetings, and it ended with me meeting an executive at Netflix who is a big science fiction geek and loved the comic book and loved what we were talking about and really thought it looked great. And so we just flew back to London and met with him. His wife was going to have a baby the day before our meeting was scheduled, but fortunately she held out, and we had our meeting, and it's now in the pipeline at Netflix. It's being actively considered, and I had a meeting with an executive at another company today, and he's going to recommend me to Amazon and to Dust, which is a science fiction channel that's starting up, and so forth. So we're going to keep pitching it. But my goal is to not let that stop us from shooting, because as you know, I've written the first 8 hours of the 12-hour season. I've written the prequel, which we're doing as a graphic novel and as a radio play, and then we'll shoot it. And so here's the question. Many of you know that I'm selling Space Command shares for $7,500, and they're still for sale until we sell the show. And so if you want to buy multiple shares or a single share, you can email me at markzicree@gmail.com, call me at 323-363-1259. But here's the question. It's about doing another crowdfunding campaign. Now, we've done all the crowdfunding campaigns we're going to do for post-production on the 2-hour pilot, and we're continuing to polish the first hour of the pilot. We've brought Mitch Susskind aboard from Lost and Star Trek Discovery and Enterprise and many other shows going all the way back to E.T., and he's just a master. But, you know, you can't do this stuff without ongoing money, and trial and error has been what we've been doing on Space Command, and sometimes we'll try something and it won't work, or it'll almost work, and we just have to keep going, and that's why it's taken so long. But I'm very eager to shoot the rest of the second 2-hour story. We've shot 40 minutes of Forgiveness. The first 2 hours are called Redemption. That's our 2-hour pilot. We've shot all of that. So now we just have to do the VFX and the post-production on that, sound mix, music, all that stuff, color correction, and then we can get the second hour to you guys as well. You know, if the show sells sooner rather than later, this is all moot. But I'd like to keep shooting. I'd like to keep getting the shows to you, the episodes to you, and ultimately I don't want to be dependent on whether or not the networks or the platforms decide this fits in with their corporate strategy. I want to keep shooting, and this would be the first of many shows that we would do. I want to do Magic Time. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pike, but here is the question. This past year, I had 2 quick Kickstarter campaigns to basically raise funds to help us get the first hour completed, move into the second hour. Basically, that's moving along the pipeline. While we're doing that, I would very much like to shoot the rest of the second 2-hour story, Forgiveness. We've shot 40 minutes of it with Ferran Tahir, who was the Federation captain in JJ's Star Trek. He's the one who gets skewered by the Romulan. He's also an Iron Man. He's in tons of stuff. And James Hong, who was in Blade Runner and Big Trouble in Little China and many, many other films. So, the rest of the script, the major scene of the rest of the script takes place in an alien hibernation ship. So, and now also, let me just tell you a few other things. I just met with Nichelle Nichols and her team on the weekend. Nichelle was signing at our booth at Comic-Con a few months ago. I've written a scene for her in the second story in Space Command Forgiveness. I very much want to shoot with her. And all of the stuff is going to take money. It would take a few thousand to be able to shoot that scene with Nichelle. It'll take between, you know, probably conservatively, it'll take 200,000 or so to shoot the rest of Forgiveness. But even if I raised 100,000, that would allow me to move forward and get that shot and in the can. And because I don't want too much time to elapse from what we've shot already of that episode. And also, we promised walk-on roles to a number of people in our previous campaign. I want to be able to do that in the next few months so that they can come, they can be in Space Command, and anyone who wants to come watch us shoot or any of that stuff, we're happy to do that. So here's what let me put this all in perspective. Here is a trailer for the second Space Command story, Forgiveness. So I'll show you that, and then we'll come back.
I didn't think we needed an introduction, you and me.
What do you want?
Come to Helios.
Ready landing party armament teeth.
Captain Cameron.
This is not your jurisdiction, it is mine.
That man that you're shielding is a monster.
Believe what you may about me, but let's get this done.
Do not let the hatred of one person swerve you from the path of saving many innocent lives.
You wake up every day crying for justice, but justice and vengeance become indistinguishable.
Where is everybody?
Hey! Stop!
Put down the weapon.
No!
You ever seen a ship like that?
No.
So that was the trailer, and I think it's really cool, and I'm eager to shoot the rest. It's an amazing story. It's thrilling, and that alien ship you saw at the end, we go inside that ship, and so we've designed the interior of the hibernation ship, which is going to look very cool. We're being advised by someone who was part of the art department in the Star Wars films and the Matrix films. She's phenomenal, Cindy Napton, and we have a team that's just eager to start building, and we also have Eric Rodriguez of Imaginaric. That's the company that provided aliens for Star Trek Beyond, and they're a phenomenal company, and they've designed an amazing looking alien, and we are just eager. We're starting to do tests on it. We are very eager to start building the suits. There's going to be 3 suits that we'll have to build. So the question is this. I want to launch a crowdfunding campaign immediately to raise the $100,000, $200,000 that will allow us to roll camera, to build the sets, to build the creatures, to shoot the rest of Space Command Forgiveness. And if we are able to shoot with Nichelle, that would allow us to shoot with Nichelle. There's many other wonderful actors in the wings who've already agreed to be in Space Command. We're just waiting to be able to have the funds to shoot their stories, and that includes Armin Shimmerman and Ethan Phillip and J.G. Hertzler and on and on. Actors from Farscape and Stargate and tons of things. And they're clamoring to be in Space Command. And I've been talking to Christina Moses, who played Sulu's daughter in World Enough and Time, which I co-wrote and directed and executive produced, and she's very much open to playing a role in Forgiveness. So the question is, would you guys be okay with me launching a campaign so that we can shoot the rest of Forgiveness sooner rather than later? I don't want to overstay my welcome. I don't want to overstrain your patience. But what this would allow is that as we're finishing the first hour and the second hour of the pilot and getting it to you, we won't have to wait years to ramp up to shoot the rest of the second one. That one has far fewer visual effects. So if we shoot principal, it won't take very long to do post, and then we can get that to you too. So that'd be for the first 4 hours of Space Command. And then we can just keep shooting. And if the show sells, and I trust it will sell, but obviously if we build an audience of millions of people, when I was talking to Alexi Wheeler at Netflix the week before last, he I said, look, if we get 1 million hits on the pilot, on Mr. Sci-Fi, that's a persuasive number to you guys, isn't it? And he said, oh, yes, it is, indeed. So, in a way, the more the train is moving, the more we get what we need to keep the train moving. But more than that, this has always been a journey between you guys, my audience, and me. The network, the VOD platforms, all that stuff, they're the conduit, and I don't want to be reliant on them. So let me know. You can comment on Mr. Sci-Fi. You can send me an email at markzickery@gmail.com. You can comment on Kickstarter, whatever platform you want to comment on. But just let me know. I think it's going to be fine. I think if we launch another campaign, we aren't going to get a backlash because people will understand that we are not slowing down. We are continuing to maintain our commitment and keep our promises. This just allows us to get material to you guys all the faster. And it's wonderful. I cannot wait to share all this stuff with you. It's thrilling to me. So thanks very much. We'll talk again soon. The history of film in science fiction is coming up shortly. And thanks for everything. The dogs are acting up now, so it's time for me to go away. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.